Guys, welcome back to the channel, Ninja Turtle, and today we're going to talk about this recently finished Shard figure. If you don't know who Shard is, she is the sister of Bishop from the X-Men. Very limited appearances in the comic books, and she only was in about 2 episodes of X-Men the animated series, and that's what this look is based off of for the most part. There's some differences here and there, but we'll go ahead and get right into it. So first off, just off the top, this is a 3D printed head sculpt, so no need to give me any credit for how good the hair or anything like that turned out. It is a 3D printed head sculpt. I purchased it from Dice Show Creations, so I said I was going to say their name quite a bit on the channel, and I bought this about a month or 2 ago, I think. And yeah, it's one of their prints. I don't think they sculpted it. I'm not sure who the original sculptor is, but this is 3D printed, so it's just painted and filled in and made sure that it fits onto this body that I gave her. This all came together relatively quickly as far as the actual build. I think I started about 4 or 5 days ago, so it actually normally when I plan out a custom, I usually plan it out for like several months, if not several years ahead of time, and try to figure out what the logistics would be. But this one I wanted to do, but I had it way down on the line as far as when I was actually going to make it. But then I stumbled across the 3D printed head sculpt when I was shopping for heads, and said, hey, you know what, let's go ahead and make Shard now. And guess what, Black History Month is coming up pretty soon, so I might as well go ahead and grab that. And there's something else related that I bought as well. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, I went ahead and bought it and said, let's go ahead and fast track this. And that was a couple months ago, but then decided to start making this a few days ago, and yeah, it came out pretty good. So for the most part, it's still a relatively standard build. It's not terribly special, although that's just kind of like for me to say that. Starting at the bottom, you can see I just used basically regular Kate Bishop style legs and feet, just flats, but I added some sculpt back here for this detail and painted that yellow. But other than that, these are just standard legs. From going downward, at least. The thighs themselves, those are 2 different thighs. I explained this before on the Jill Valentine video that I recently made, that these are the upper thighs, or the MJ No Way Home thighs, and I cut that in half, so it's just the upper thigh, and the lower thigh is just a standard Kate Bishop thigh, and so they're glued together. Why? For compatibility and aesthetic reasons. So I'm not going to go into deep detail, but that's why. But either way, that part that was glued together is covered up by some more sculpts, so that's why you get this big this big thick band around her thighs. That is the way it looks in the show, so it ended up working out really well. But because of that, because of gluing those together, I can actually function this and bend her knees and stuff like that. She can stand up. She has strong ability to stand and stuff like that, so ends up working out really well. The rest of the torso is just a standard Kate Bishop torso. I believe this one in particular is the Walgreens exclusive Invisible Woman. So it's kind of blue inside already, but I did paint that regardless. And then all of this here, the X symbol and this whatever pieces on her torso, I don't know what you would call that, but it's all sculpted on with epoxy sculpt going around the back. And then also while we're here, on her forearm, this is also sculpted on, where the wrist part here on the yellow on the wrist is not sculpted on. That just came from Age of Apocalypse Rogue, so we just pop that on there. So that's not painted at all, and those can be removed. Not that they need to be, but they can be removed. Just standard hands. And then the upper torso, this is the reason why I was able to actually do it, because I almost was going to delay this figure entirely because I really wanted this torso. So this one comes from the Polaris figure for X Factor, the one that's a 2-pack with Havoc. Um, that's where this one in particular comes from, but you can also, because that's kind of an expensive figure, and I kind of just looked out and was able to get it for pretty cheap. But you can also get the Wolfsbane figure that came out, I believe, a year ago. That was the I forgot what wave that was. With the top Zabu wave. There you go. The Zabu wave Wolfsbane has the exact same top as the Polaris does because they're both X Factor. So that's a little bit easier to access and a little bit cheaper probably overall. But I was able to get the actual Polaris one. I ended up sculpting this piece on her chest or shoulders, I should say. It's kind of like a gun, so I just kind of, she never takes it out or anything like that, but I sculpted that there myself. And the strap here is sculpted, and the X symbol on her neck is sculpted. So still using the same arms as well as from that Polaris figure. So it has this cloth detail on there, but I added this little badge on both sides that is sculpted on. And yeah, that's pretty much it. There's not really a whole lot of terrible, complicated techniques or things done with it. But just again, the upper torso is the Polaris. It had that zipper there, so I was able to use a Dremel and remove that. I'm not sure if that zipper is there on the Wolfsbane figure. Whatever you have, if you're going to make this yourself, then you're able to possibly dodge that. But all in all, again, it came together really quickly, about 4 days of work, so I'm really glad I was able to get this done before the end of the month. So we'll do a real quick comparison and then we'll get out of here. All right, and just a quick comparison here. We have our Shard, again, based off the X-Men animated series. I forgot to mention that one, this is off the show, not off the comic books, but the hair and the head is actually, again, it's 3D printed, so I didn't do it myself, but it is, the head is, and the hairstyle in particular is based off the comic books. However, the comic books Shard, she has a very ridiculously long ponytail that goes pretty much down to the floor. It's a long ass ponytail. But whoever sculpted this, I don't know, they didn't include a ponytail in the 3D print. So I didn't feel like making one. I could have if I had a little bit more time and a little bit more familiarity with the sculpting materials that I currently have available. If this was like a year ago, I probably would have used Procreate Putty and took a little bit more time and made that ponytail possibly. But this one does not have the ponytail. In the animated series, she does not have a ponytail. So that was another reason why I chose to use the animated series version of Shard, even though the hair is not accurate to the show. All right. That being said, that's why you have a big difference in these blues, because in the show, she's very light blue. Even Bishop, she's only in 2 episodes. That's the season, what season was that? 3 or 4? I can't remember. I think it was 4. The episode where Wolverine and Storm are time displaced, kind of like they were in a couple, and it's basically a version of Bishop's story, like his origin, or not his origin, his first story in the comics is a version of that. It has, Trevor Fitzroy, and they go back in time, try to save Professor. It kind of prevents Age of Apocalypse sort of thing. And they do show like a Age of Apocalypse sort of universe in the future where Bishop comes from. That said, yeah, the blue is a lot lighter on the show than it is in the comic books for Shard. And then this Bishop is a comic book based Bishop, so the blue is a lot darker. I don't have X-Men 97 Bishop, and I don't want him. I like this Bishop just fine. And I don't mind that they don't match as far as blues. It doesn't, Shard is still Shard at the end of the day, so it works out for me. I also forgot to mention that I made these visual effects, these energy effects, just your standard ones. I think originally these were like light green, and they came from Polaris figure, the old Warlock Build-A-Figure Polaris, and then I just painted them pink because that's pretty much her signature color for her energy. It can vary, but usually it's pink. So I made these as well, so those will snap onto her wrists or somewhere like that. Other than that, that's it for comparisons. She does not have a whole lot of appearances in comics. She does, she is dead. She basically died pretty much right away, or was dead already. And then they went back and told her origin story and how she died. And then also went back and brought her back, but not really. She was a hologram, so she was like a living hologram. But how can holograms live? I don't know. Comic book logic. But I don't think she's around now. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not the biggest lore master on Shard, but I dig the character. I wish she was not dead. I wish she had more appearances. Maybe she will get more in the X-Men animated series. I believe she is possibly still alive, based off the end of that episode where she did die. There's futures and Bishop time travel and all that stuff. She might still be alive, so maybe we see her in X-Men 97 season 2 or season 3. I don't know. Either way, thanks for watching this video. I do have another video on the way, hopefully tomorrow. I'd like to be recording it right now, but I'm waiting for something to come in the mail. If it comes soon, then I will be able to record that video and put it up before the end of Black History Month, because that's one of the reasons why I made this. And something else that I have already painted. You can't, it's actually on camera, but it's too blurry. You can't see it right now. But yeah, I'm waiting for some more stuff to come in the mail, and then I can take care of that video. So I'll see you guys hopefully tomorrow with a new video. And if not, I'll see you next time. Peace.